if you come into Lima, to the San Isidro districts, spend time for 1 week, and go away, you will think that Peru has joined the rank of modern nations. Because if I spent my time in this hotel, I would get the impression that everybody wears suits. They all seem to be able to take a shower and, seem to be healthy and well fed. But is that truly the case? I think if basic national strategies and development goals are not modified to include the concepts of real progress on the one hand, and applying knowledge and technologies for the betterment, then Peru will make progress as many other countries show progress to be made, but sooner or later it will find itself in the same predicament that most other countries have found. It is already starting to happen. For instance, there are now concerns about the Peruvian Amazon, deforestation of the Peruvian Amazon. There are concerns about the fact that the mining industry is depleting the natural resource wealth of this country. It will contribute to ocean acidification. It will be a contributor to climate change. It will add to another list of countries that are making generally things worse. And there won't be that much or big magnitude of change when it comes to levels of poverty, levels of illiteracy, and the uneven distribution of wealth. The idea of national gross happiness has emerged in the tiny kingdom of Bhutan, which is in the northern parts of Asia, in the Himalayas. And the king, looking at the fact that Western approaches to development have not been successful because of understandings about climate change and sustainability, decided that Bhutan should experiment with the idea of not determining the idea of growth and progress based on the production of goods and services in the material sense, but also should include the idea of an individual being contented and happy and being psychologically sound and secure. They have 4 elements to the idea of gross national happiness in Bhutan. One of them is the idea of sustainable growth. The second one is the preservation of resources and the wealth. The third one is the retention of traditional culture and making sure that they don't disappear. And the fourth element, if I recall, is the degree and levels of education of the people being increased. And in those things, elements that are included are the concept of rights, human rights, illiteracy, education, general welfare of the community. So there are multiple elements, in fact, as many as 2021 indicators, including reports on crime. So a society is measured in terms of all of these things to see, is it really genuinely making progress? Because the old measure simply takes into account anything and everything that has a monetary exchange, meaning there is a component where somebody is paying something and somebody is receiving some money. All that is added. So the whole measure of gross national product is simply an indication of the volume of monetary transaction, and it has very little to do with whether genuine progress is being made. It is not enough to say that every person will have a cell phone and every person will have a computer. Every person in Peru has access to information and communication technologies. I think that is only a part of the solution. Basically, I believe that the use of ICT has great promise and can be very effective, but it is not so much in simply spreading the availability of information and communication technologies, but focusing on the needs of specific segments of the population. Well, I have in my research found two very important examples, I think, of effective use of communication technologies. They are both in the Cajamarca province, and these two projects, from what I'm able to understand, represent all of the elements that make for a successful use of information and communication technology. So for instance, if there is a group of farmers who are involved in producing a commodity, whether it's agriculture or fisheries or whatever, the effective use of information and communication technologies for them would mean, for instance, weather forecasts, information on what is the right time to sow, what are effective ways of increasing the productivity of their farms. And the most important thing in this is to get across to that community of users that it is in their best interest.